Welcome back, dear viewers. It's Maverick here with another episode of Monogatari Mondays. So today we're watching episode 4 of Hanamonogatari, which means that we are nearing the end of this particular arc, right? So whatever twist that it wants to throw out to us, it's pretty much going to be in this episode, because, so far I don't really see what Numachi is doing wrong, right? Or why she has suddenly fallen to the state of being possessed by a devil, or whatever this situation is. Now, she is certainly unfortunate, and it certainly twisted her views of the world and whatnot, but hey, I mean, all teenagers are prone to a little bit of over-dramatization, right? I think it's just part of growing up and whatnot. Certainly, while Numachi encountered some situation that is very unfortunate, it's not the end of the world, right? And more so than that, the way that she chose to cope with it, even though some might say it's morally questionable, it is a way of coping with it, right? Not to mention, the entire thing about, I feel like the entire method of saying, because you are more misfortunate than I am, so I can feel better about myself, it's just human nature to compare, right? If humans do not compare, we wouldn't really have envy as one of the cardinal sins, right? It's human nature. You wouldn't have pride either, because pride also stems from the comparison between what you have versus what others don't. So, I really want to see how exactly they're going to make such a big deal about this, and considering this is something that every human probably goes through, why is Numachi a special case in this regard? So, with that being said, let's get into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Mm-hmm. Really? What kind of stress fracture? Never mind. Or, you could just skip all this and literally become a psychiatrist or something. Or like a suicide hotline worker. Is that a bit too snarky? I think that's a nice attitude to have. Unless, of course, you're religious. Or a Sith. Only Siths deal in absolutes. Although technically it's the Jedi that are more stubborn on that point. But that's another story. Mm-hmm. I still don't get how that really works with Kaiki. He clearly realizes that he's dealing with some sort of situation here. So how does he keep, hypnotizing himself to the point of saying, no, I don't believe they exist, or something like that? Although, I guess technically, if we go with my theory of all the aberrations are just exaggerations of common teenage problems, adolescence problems, maybe they don't exist. I love that scene there, with the background city and whatnot. I do wonder if the flowers there are of any significance. She. Hanamonogatari. I'm just... Who is that? Okay. Eek. Okay. Why are they all lefts? Does that mean, like, the right side is complete? Haha. Oh, really? Okay. That was a lot more wholesome than I was expecting. And hey, you get a leg in return. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gained a working leg. I'm actually just wondering right now if I would actually make that trade. Okay. Makes their misery permanent. Makes their misery permanent? So Numachi said. So I guess Converter isn't exactly convinced by this. Returning to Exodia? Once again, kind of a... So basically she's given up on life, right? So she's like, okay, if I can't live a normal life, I'll become a devil instead. Now, once again, you know, over dramatization, right? Of what is a really unfortunate event, I have to say. But you know, technically, if she does want to live this kind of life, well, I'm just thinking, like, what would, if I really somehow encountered this sort of situation in real life, what my reaction would be? I would probably say, hold on. I guess we can talk more at the end of this episode. Okay, so she isn't telling the entire truth, right? Yep, completely flip. She's dead? There we go. A ghost? Question mark? I wonder where she's going to find her. All the way to her town? By the way, I really like the use of the visuals and sound effects and music in this scene. You're gonna feel it tomorrow. Kanki? I know. Huh? Okay. Oh, that was certainly unexpected. Alright. He's an adult now, Kambaru. Well, actually, technically not yet, right? He should be 18, right? Or 19? so different, though. He actually reminds me of the dude from Shaman King. No, he looks like Hal. Hal from Shaman King. Really? Yeah, he seems really mature right now, this Araragi. Well, you're bothered by it, aren't you? See? Well, yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Basically, you either accept it and move on, or you don't accept it and do something about it, right? He definitely doesn't look like he's only like 19 or something. Alright. see you guys after this. Damn, and once again, Monogatari hits us with another arc that really asks some pretty deep questions, that really gets you thinking about how you would act in a certain situation, and whether or not the logic that you're going through is entirely correct, right? So, first of all, let's talk a little bit about Araragi's appearance here, which is definitely a surprise, and once again, I feel like Araragi looks much more mature than he ever did, and he looks much more mature for an 18 or 19-year-old, as he supposedly is. But, in any case, yeah, he's an ikemen, right? He definitely looks like one of those players in college who goes around, party boys and all, goes around partying and, that kind of character, right? Which I'm sure Araragi probably isn't, but still, you guys get what I mean. But anyways, it was nice seeing him in his sort of more mature self, right? And indeed, I feel like the advice, the dialogue that he gave in this episode was quite mature as well. Even to the point of, even though I do keep on saying that. It's kind of weird because I do keep on saying how, yes, I do feel that time will solve everything, right? I'm actually of the opinion that that is a correct assessment of it. However, I do agree with what Araragi is saying as well, and that is basically, it doesn't matter what others people think, right? You should do what you believe you want to do. Other people, sure, their opinion might be correct, it might be incorrect, but that doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it's still another person's opinion. It's not your opinion. Right? So it's basically telling Kambaru to, hey, look, if you're okay with this situation, then just drop it already. If you're not okay with this situation, then, well, stop moving around and you go do something about it, right? That's essentially what it boils down to. Of course, he's saying it much nicer than I am right now, but, look, I'm a little bit more of an asshole in that regard, alright? So, that's basically what it boils down to. And certainly in this case, we can clearly see it's bothering Kambaru, so she should do something about it, right? I don't see anything wrong with that, even if that wouldn't have been the, even if that wouldn't have been the decision that I made personally either. Although, speaking of that actually gets to the second and probably the biggest part that I want to talk about for this episode, which is, I feel like, and it was basically what I was, I was thinking about in the middle of the episode, and I didn't really say what I was thinking and my conclusion on that. So, that was before we saw this entire situation with Numachi, supposedly already killing herself and whatnot, right? So, if we go back a little bit and just consider, without revealing that part of the truth, because technically I don't even think that really matters with the question I'm going to pose. So let's just, forget that for now and just focus on what Numachi said herself, right? How she became this way, why she's doing it, what is her now ultimate goal, right? And Kambaru basically also commented, right? So you're essentially giving your life away, right? You're surrendering your body, your life, your soul, or whatever it is to a devil. Does your life have any meaning left, etc., etc.? You can basically view it as as her killing herself, right? Which is, I guess, the should I say funny thing? The ironic thing, I guess, about the entire situation is that the Roka that she was saying in her stories might probably just be herself, right? Her problems with her parents, with her family and whatnot. She probably got pregnant or something or the other of that sort. I do think that it's probably a direct reference to herself instead. And then if we go forward a step further into what I keep on saying about how all these aberrations and all the situations that's happening might just be an over-exaggeration to real life things, to realistic things, you could basically look at Roka's situation as saying, okay, I'm going to go around collecting misery, and then at the end of it all, once I've accomplished all I want to accomplish in this regard, I'm going to kill myself, right? I'm going to commit suicide. We can, I don't know if this is entirely a one-to-one comparison, but that's how I'm choosing to look at the situation here, right? And then the question then becomes, right? So, for someone who willingly takes this path, do you have an obligation to stop them? Or do you want to stop them either morally, logically, or philosophically, or however you want to put it, right? Now, here's the thing. My philosophy in life has always, and by the way, this is all of this, well, most of these musings and reviews are personal opinions anyway, but in this situation where we are getting with, values and morals and philosophies and whatnot, that's even more subjective and to each person. But anyways, my personal philosophy on life has always been, anybody can live whatever life that they want, and nobody should have a say in how another person wants to live their life, right? I very, very much value the individuality of people, right? I might not necessarily agree with you. I might think what you're doing is stupid. I might think what you're doing is incomprehensible, is abhorrible, or whatnot. But that doesn't matter, because if you really do choose to live your life that way and you thought it through, let it be, right? I don't go out of my way to say, okay, I'm going to convince someone that their way of living is wrong, or you should do things like this way, you shouldn't be such a dick, or maybe you're pushing yourself too hard or whatnot. I don't really think that. Sure, as a friend or as family or whatnot, you would give maybe some of your own advice as well, but I've never really been the type to forcefully force my own beliefs on someone else, because I don't believe in that, right? I truly don't believe in that, and that goes for things that are more universal, like morals as well. I don't really think that what I consider to be morally good or bad or whatnot should be the same for someone else. And indeed, if someone else, another person, they have their own specific morals that they follow or philosophies that they follow, good on them, right? At the end of the day, we are all our own individuals. If you don't like someone, if you don't like the way they act or something like that, then just step away, right? I feel like that has basically been my philosophy in life. Now, however, going back to this situation, though, with Numachi, you would think the logical conclusion to all this would be, alright, if she's going to choose this way of life and then she's going to kill herself in the end, so be it, right? And I know that sounds kind of harsh and mean and all that, but that's truly, if you think about it and what I've been saying through all this, if I were truly going to continue with my philosophy of life and whatnot, that is the decision I would going to make. However, there is a footnote to all this, and I did mention that in it as well, and that is if you have fully thought this through, right? And if you guys recall, through the past 3 episodes, I've basically been saying that, look, Numachi, certainly you've been living a pretty unpleasant life, unfortunate life so far, maybe more so than the others. I'm sure you have your ups and downs, maybe your downs are a bit more extreme than others, and even overshadowing your ups and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I keep on saying this, right? You've only lived 15 years of your, who knows, maybe 80 years of life, right? Or 90 years of life, considering she's in modern day Japan and whatnot. It would depend on your, let's say 75, right? 75. So that's like 20% of your life. Right, you really shouldn't be making such a rash decision this early on. So, for instance, if she was going to commit suicide, hell yeah, I would be stopping her. But the reason for that is because I just feel that you really haven't thought this through yet, right? I do hate it when people do use the so-called underage as a sort of excuse to say, you haven't really thought this through, because I don't truly believe that just because you turn 18 or turn 20, you magically know things. That's not how humans work, right? But there is a higher statistical probability that when you are at 15, you probably haven't really thought things through yet, right? That's the point I'm trying to get here. And so in this sort of situation, because I know that she probably hasn't thought these things through, I would feel obligated to stop her and say, look, chill, think about this some more, think of how long life you can have. Is this truly just because you broke a leg or whatnot? Is this truly your entire life, etc., 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 right? Now, obviously, I don't think I would be the best person to be saying this to them, right? I'm a little bit too blunt in that regards, but that's basically the gist of the situation and how I would view it, right? So, going back to, going full circle back to the question that I posed there, and that is, would I actually do anything about this situation myself, right? or would I want to do anything in this situation? I think the answer, based on all this and going through it, step by step, the answer would logically be yes, right? I don't really think she's thought things through. She's way too young. She has a long life in front of her. She just doesn't know it yet, right? Certainly, she feels that she's lived 100% of her life so far, and yet she's only lived 20%, or perhaps even more, perhaps even less, right? That would depend on, I don't know, on fate, on genetics, whichever kind of religion or non-religion you subscribe to. So that's basically the question I was pondering during that scene there, and at the end of the day, my decision would still be, yeah, you should probably do something about it. And so that goes with the current situation as well. Once again, I feel like the Roka that she was describing in her memories and whatnot is probably sort of like a parallel to herself and whatnot. So I do think that she's probably dead, right? She's probably turned into an aberration of some sort. But once again, it's just the thought that counts or something like that. Basically, if we ignore all that, right? Because I don't really know what this kind of adds to the story, right? The fact that she actually killed herself already in real life. Honestly, I don't feel like this changes anything. It doesn't change my decision on anything. And maybe you guys can disagree on this point, and if you do have thoughts on it, do point it out to me, or maybe it's going to be important in the next episode once we learn a little bit more about what truly happened and whatnot. But so far, as for the information I can see just from episode 4 and whatnot, I don't really think the fact that she actually killed herself, has any bearing on what I feel about the situation and what kind of actions I would take if I were in Kambaru's shoes. So that's basically what I want to say for all of this. Let's see, is there anything? So I mentioned about the connection between Roka. I guess one. Should I be mentioning this here though? I'm still kind of questioning Kaiki, right? So this is definitely one aspect of his character that even to this point I still can't get over, and that is the fact that he's saying that he doesn't believe in ghosts and aberrations and spirits and whatnot, and yet he's clearly well versed in it, and he clearly knows that there are some weird things going on, right? The fact that he stepped up and took care of the Sengoku situation is proof enough of that, right? He already accepted that Sengoku was a god and whatnot, right? So clearly, he's still just trying to say that for some reason as part of his image or whatnot. But I think even more ridiculous is how everybody still holds him to you know that he's a comment, and yet you believe his words on that, right? That doesn't really make sense to me. But anyways, I'm just thinking about what exact significance he has and he plays in all of this, right? Certainly, I don't know, right? Because, again, if we're going... So, say, for instance, one theory that I had was maybe Kaiki subscribes to the same theory that I do, and that is that all these aberrations and whatnot are just exaggerations of adolescence problems, of teenage problems, and, time will solve these. Once you become an adult and all that, you would basically be free of these kinds of problems and all that. Or maybe I shouldn't say adult, right? Once you mature, you would be free of these kinds of problems. Because if you think about it, he is basically preying on the psychologically weak, right? On the mentally weak. Not mentally impaired, but mentally weak. And so in this case, what would his role be in all of this, in Numachi's situation, and so on and so forth? I don't know. I think this review section has already been too long, and I don't really want to keep on. But that's definitely something I'm thinking in the back of my mind, right? Like how he views this entire situation and whatnot, and what his stance is on all this. Because I definitely feel like he follows a stance similar to maybe kind of sort of similar to me, and that, which is in, I don't feel a moral obligation to help anyone if this is what they've decided, right? I will provide you with the necessary tools, necessary knowledge and whatnot. How you make of it, what you do of it, that is entirely on yourself. More of that kind of thing. Although, I still keep on thinking that philosophy is actually more embodied by Oshino. But, whatever. Anyways, I don't want to continue to ramble on, but this definitely was an episode that got me thinking a lot again, which is something I really appreciate about the Monogatari series, right? And I'm sure that some people would say that it's a little bit too, how should I say this? What's the, I can't English today. Like, what's the word of trying to be something that you aren't, and whatnot? But you guys should know what I mean, right? It's a little bit too, okay, you know what? Screw it. I can't really talk right now. I should probably quit while I'm still ahead. Anyways, thank you guys for all this, for watching this. Hopefully this hasn't turned out to be too much of a ramble, and I'll see you guys for the grand finale of Hanamonogatari next week as well. Bye-bye. I got it. Pretentious. Pretentious was the word I was trying to look for. There are some that definitely feel that Monogatari series is pretentious, and I can totally see why, but at the same time, I do feel that the questions that, and the stories that are posed here do make you think, right? Oh my god. I don't know what's wrong with my brain today. Anyways, see you guys.